Me dicen de dónde soy, de dónde vengo y con quién ando. Les dije de por ahí con mi rap representando. Me dicen que en qué escuela se aprende lo que yo hago. Les dije que yo fui a la que le llaman el barrio. Me dicen de dónde soy, de dónde vengo y con quién ando. Les dije de por ahí con mi rap representando. Me dicen que en qué escuela se aprende lo que yo hago. Les dije que yo fui a la que le llaman el barrio.
Well, my background is I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, and I've been doing art since I was a little kid. But I got into graffiti art in high school. So I was around 16 years old when I got into graffiti, and just started by tagging on the bus, actually. But as soon as I got into graffiti, it opened up a whole new world, because I was drawing, like I said, since I was a little kid, but I never knew that my art could reach people. You know, it was just for me. And once I did graffiti, all of a sudden it was like other people can see my stuff. You know, obviously there was graffiti artists already in LA who were doing things, also in New York on the subways and all that. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to do gigantic, large-scale graffiti pieces on the sides of buildings, you know, because we didn't have trains in LA. Almost immediately after I got into it, I decided this is all I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, in the beginning it was just for fun, just to hang out with friends that were like, we had all like, you know, similarities, like everything in common. And then it just gradually evolved. Like some people kind of stopped doing it, and then like for me, I just continued. I had so much fun doing it. It was like a freedom of expression for me. So basically I just looked for walls where I could paint and be alone and just take my time and do something dope.
So in Los Angeles, there's a long history of gang culture. And, you know, at the core, the gangs were about Mexicans who lived in Los Angeles, who hung out together to protect themselves. But there was a really big distinction between graffiti and gangs. And the gang graffiti that had existed over those, you know, decades was really about gangs claiming their territory. So they would put the name of their neighborhood, so you knew that when you entered that block that it was under their control. My dad especially thought I was joining a gang. He thought I was doing gang graffiti. And I had to really like educate him that I had nothing to do with gangs. This was actually a step in the opposite direction, you know? I wanted to be an artist.
I've been busted 3 times for doing graffiti. So, I mean, yeah, I've had my fair share of run-ins with cops, you know, running away, you know, just people telling me to stop and hitting freeway spots or anything like along those lines. But it was always just, like I said, for fun. And then eventually, now I'm trying to like transfer over to like the more legal aspect part of it.
You know, obviously when I went to college and got my degree in fine art, I had to take tons of art history classes, and obviously learned about Van Gogh and all these other, you know, famous artists from back in the day.
Out of high school, I took some design classes, so like even then, like I'm still like aware, like Van Gogh, Picasso, Michelangelo, and all those, you know, the Sistine Chapel.
And what I got from Van Gogh, number one, was obviously his style, and I'm about color. I love color, I love the vibrancy of color, the use of color, and that's one of the things that I really could relate to with Van Gogh, is just his use of color.
You know, his style was just like very dicey, chopped up style. I actually just seen a meme. It was like this spiral, and it spun for like 30 seconds and it will stop spinning, and then you would look at the piece, the Van Gogh piece, and in it would just continue. So it was like an optical illusion.
I just looked at his insanity as an artist. He was so passionate about his work that it caused him, like, I think, a lot of problems in his life.
He wasn't very popular in his time. People oversaw like his work. Nothing that I don't think he ever sold a piece while he was alive, you know. And he cut his ear off for his girlfriend. That was a real famous one.
I was able to see his struggle and be like, I don't want that struggle.
It's all about being original. So I mean, conforming to the norm or what people are used to. Probably, you know, that's probably the spirit of, you know, that people see in him that they also see in the graffiti writer. You know, just trying to like not rebel on purpose, but just tired of seeing the same thing, that where you do your own, it's not accepted in the art world. But regardless of that, you just kind of basically stick to your guns and just do it anyway. So, and then eventually, maybe down the line, people will appreciate it more. Like 100 years from now, they might look back and say, well, those guys were onto something. And you know what? Yeah, I mean, I want to be a part of that. Something new. I want to do something that's like bigger than me. Be a part of something that's bigger than me. Be a part of a show. Get recognition for actually what I've been doing all this time.
Que yo fui a la que le llaman el barrio.
Un poquito a tu jale y déjanos en paz, güey. Ya sabes que no te...